An old criminal investigator's tale, a tale of betrayal and truth. Welcome to the shadowy corners of modern life, where love and lies dance in dangerous proximity. This is the story of Alex, a naive young man, and the elaborate web spun by his mysterious online partner, Sophia. Beneath the romance lies a stunning truth that will unravel under the glow of police station lights. Buckle up for a whirlwind of deception, identity, and heartbreak that reveals how easily human desires can be manipulated. It was a crisp autumn morning in Denver, Colorado, when Alex burst into the local police station. Clutching his phone and visibly distressed, he recounted his tale to the officers. Sophia, a woman he'd met online and fallen madly in love with, had scammed him out of thousands of dollars. He had traveled from Seattle just to confront her, armed with their planned meeting time and location. Sophia had been the perfect online partner, sweet, caring, and beautiful in her profile pictures. Their relationship had blossomed over video calls, which always seemed blurry, and text exchanges, culminating in promises of a future together. Alex had sent her expensive gifts, designer bags, jewelry, and even cash, all under the guise of helping her through tough times. Now, Sophia had finally agreed to meet him in person at a downtown coffee shop. Sensing an opportunity to catch her red-handed, Alex involved the police. The officers, though initially skeptical, recognized the hallmarks of a classic catfishing scam. They agreed to surveil the meeting spot, a bustling cafe near Union Station. As evening fell and the city lights glowed, Alex nervously waited at a corner table. At precisely 7:30 p.m., a figure approached. Sophia, clad in a chic dress and sporting long, flowing hair, appeared just as Alex had imagined. But as soon as she sat down, officers moved in. Sophia was arrested on suspicion of fraud, and the mystery deepened when the person known as Sophia revealed their true identity at the station. "I'm not a woman," said the suspect, pulling off the wig with dramatic flair. Beneath the makeup was Chris, a short, wiry man in his mid-20s, with strikingly androgynous features. The room fell silent as Chris explained how he'd mastered the art of transformation, blending makeup skills and a high-pitched, soothing voice to create the perfect online persona. Alex was stunned. "That's impossible." We've been intimate," he stammered, his face turning crimson. Chris smirked, describing how he'd maintained the illusion during their single physical encounter, dimming the lights and relying on strategic distractions to prevent discovery. Chris, a part-time performer at a local drag bar, admitted he had started the scam to pay off mounting debts. What began as a one-time deception spiraled into a months-long saga as Alex's naivety and generosity provided an irresistible opportunity. "I didn't plan for it to go this far," Chris said, "but he made it so easy. He was in love with the idea of me, not the reality." Chris explained how he carefully curated the persona of Sophia. His work at the drag bar had honed his makeup skills, and years of observing people had taught him how to adapt his voice and mannerisms. It wasn't just fraud, it was performance art, he claimed, albeit with questionable ethics. Chris grew up in a small, conservative town in Wyoming, where his flamboyant personality made him an outcast. By the time he moved to Denver in his early 20s, he had learned to use his charm as a defense mechanism. Initially, his online personas were harmless experiments, but financial struggles pushed him toward darker motives. "At first, it was just for fun," Chris confessed. "I'd catfish people, see how far I could take it. Then the bills started piling up, and it became a lifeline." He chose Alex carefully. Alex's social media profiles revealed a kind-hearted but gullible individual, the perfect target. Their relationship started innocently, with Chris testing boundaries. As Alex's infatuation grew, so did Chris's confidence in his ability to manipulate him. Over the course of 6 months, Chris crafted a narrative of vulnerability and resilience. Sophia was a single woman struggling to make ends meet, a persona designed to tug at Alex's heartstrings. She shared stories of her sick mother, her dreams of becoming a nurse, and her gratitude for Alex's support. Alex, a software engineer who had never been in a serious relationship, found Sophia's openness refreshing. He began confiding in her, sharing his insecurities and aspirations. For Chris, these moments were both a triumph and a burden. "Sometimes I felt guilty," Chris admitted. "He wasn't a bad guy, he just wanted to be loved." The climax of their relationship came during a weekend trip Alex planned. Chris, in full Sophia disguise, orchestrated the encounter to perfection. He dimmed the lights, played romantic music, and avoided physical contact that could reveal his true identity. The experience left Alex more enamored than ever and more willing to part with his money. The deception might have continued indefinitely if not for Alex's decision to propose. After Sophia claimed to be pregnant, Alex saw marriage as the logical next step. He began discussing plans to visit Sophia's family and insisted on meeting her in person more frequently. "That's when I knew the jig was up," Chris said. "I couldn't keep lying without it blowing up in my face." Chris attempted to end the relationship, citing personal struggles, but Alex's persistence and his own greed drew him back in. Eventually, the pressure became too much, leading to the ill-fated meeting in Denver. Detectives delved into Chris's background, uncovering a history of minor scams and a reputation for manipulation. Interviews with his former acquaintances painted a picture of a complex individual, part con artist, part performer, and part victim of circumstance. Alex, meanwhile, struggled with feelings of betrayal and self-doubt. Friends and family offered support, but the humiliation lingered. He attended therapy to process the experience, ultimately finding solace in understanding his own vulnerabilities. Chris's trial became a media sensation, dubbed the Denver Catfisher case. Prosecutors argued that his actions were premeditated and exploitative, while his defense framed him as a desperate individual making poor choices. The courtroom drama highlighted the intersection of technology, identity, and morality in the digital age. In the end, Chris was convicted of fraud and sentenced to community service and probation. The judge acknowledged the emotional harm caused, but also recognized his willingness to take responsibility. Alex eventually found closure, using his story to raise awareness about online scams. He spoke at community events, sharing his journey and encouraging others to prioritize authenticity in relationships. Chris, meanwhile, used his talents for makeup and performance in legitimate ways, hosting workshops and performing at local events. Their paths never crossed again. But their story remained a cautionary tale, a reminder of the blurred lines between connection and deception in an increasingly virtual world.